Coming up this week, off screen.
We get on the case with Detective Pikachu,
Go on a destination wedding,
live the high life,
brave the Arctic,
scoff Madeline's Madeline,
and scratch ourselves where hands touch.
all this to come and more off screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
Welcome to Off Screen, I'm Van Connor.
And I am Case Allen.
Welcome back, Mr. Allen. Another fun week awaits us as always.
Yeah, as per usual.
So, before we get to the film reviews then, the bits of film news that we get to fit in, and the box office top 5 for the week, we need a piece of film news, something big, something mega, something kajunga. What can start us off, Mr. Allen?
I don't know if I have anything kajunga. Is that a word?
It exists on a whole other scale.
Use it in another sentence.
My love for you was kajunga.
Wow. Is kajunga something you are? Is it something you have? Do you do
It's
it?
merely a measurement of epic scale.
Yeah. This is pretty big. Richard Madden, who is probably best known from being on Game of Thrones. He's Robb Stark, or was Robb Stark.
Yes.
Spoiler for a season from a few years ago.
Spoiler for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, spoiler, he's not in it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was in The Bodyguard.
Yes, The Bodyguard's huge, isn't it?
Not Kevin Costner, the BBC.
Yeah, the other Bodyguard.
Yeah. I think this is just Bodyguard, isn't it? It's not the...
Is it? No, it's just Bodyguard, yeah.
But you drop the 'cause it's cleaner.
But the Keeley Hawes one.
The Keeley Hawes one.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah. So he's been doing that. He has been tapped to be in a Marvel film.
Oh, well, this is the badge of honour now, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is it. I mean...
Absolutely, yeah. But it seems like he's going to be the kind of quote-unquote like star or lead.
This is interesting.
What's
the name of the character then?
The character is Icarus. The film, because I think I forgot to say, is The Eternals.
Which is that? I want to say Chloe Zhao, the director.
Chloe Zhao did The Rider.
The Rider, which I've never seen.
No, but it's like a small indie film which
got buzz.
Got loads of buzz. And this is classic Marvel, isn't it? It's picking
Yes.
an up-and-coming indie, like picking someone like John Watts, who did Cop Car and then did these 2 Spider-Man films.
Getting yourself that couple from that little Ben Mendelsohn gambling drama.
Exactly. I mean, even Taika Waititi.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, let's get the dude who did What We Do in the Shadows. By the way, we need to talk about What We Do in the Shadows later.
Like, I've still not watched the show.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's insane, like, given how early I adopted, like, Concords and...
I know. I'm usually the latecomer to these.
Yeah, and I was like an early adopter of like Eagle vs Shark and buy it, and yeah.
I will just say this on it though, Matt Berry. Just me personally, I enjoy the Matt Berry quite a bit.
I love Matt Berry.
He's terrific in it. He's genuinely terrific in it. Kayvan Novak as well, and I forget the name of the actress who plays Nadia as well. She's absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
But yes, The Eternals, yeah.
Eternals. So we've already got a cast for it as well. Well, we've got a few people involved. So Kumail Nanjiani is going to be in it. We don't know who he's going to be playing, but that's really cool. I've forgotten the gentleman's name, and I feel...
South Korean actor from Train to Busan.
From Train to Busan, which is a great film.
I can't remember his name either. I apologise, but
but he's going to be in it, which is excellent. And then probably the really big news and the first piece of big cast news that came out was Angelina Jolie.
Yes, imagine
is
that.
going to be in it. So Eternals it's a cosmic Marvel film.
Do we know? Because as far as I know, the comic book is set millennia ago.
Yeah.
Is the movie going to be set millennia ago?
I don't know. I mean.
One of these characters is Thanos' dad.
Thanos' brother.
Thanos' brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old is Thanos?
I don't know.
I mean, wow.
It would be so ballsy to have it be set like millennia ago. Like it'd be great.
If it is set millennia ago, and Thanos is millennia old, he's definitely earned the name Big Daddy Thanos by now. Just
absolutely,
just for longevity.
Big Daddy Thanos. So the Eternals are a super race essentially created by the Celestials,
who are Kurt Russell's people.
Yes, Kurt Russell's boys.
It's all coming together.
Yeah. Who else is a Celestial?
Jeff Goldblum.
Now, is he a Celestial?
I believe he is.
because his brother is also the collector. I can't remember if
hang on. No, you're right.
if they're different things.
That would make the collector... We're talking ourselves in circles, but Richard Madden is going to be... And you told me he's going to be blonde as well.
The old picture I've seen of Icarus is blonde, and he just looks like He-Man.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I look forward to this.
So I think that'll be good, but that comes out next year. Of course, Marvel haven't announced it yet.
They've not. There is news on that date. Bob Iger, during a shareholders conference call, like a quarterly earnings kind of call that these companies do, Bob Iger has revealed that this summer there will be a Marvel event of some description in which Kevin Feige outlays the plans.
Good.
I would imagine that is going to be timed relatively close to Spider-Man Far From Home. Because that's July.
You would assume so. I think it's the first weekend of July. It's really early on in July, but it makes sense because right now it's all just kind of conjecture, and they don't want people to just be guessing, and they'd rather just be like, look what we've got.
And that Spider-Man trailer. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
that spoils a few things, doesn't it?
Anyway, so before we get to our first review of the week, because it's one you've seen as well. So
I have, yeah. I saw it months ago.
Excellent. Okay, so we've plugged the podcast edition because this week we've got a review we can't fit into the radio edit. That's Mads Mikkelsen in Arctic. We're going to review that in the podcast extras. I'm just going to tell you, it is worth catching that review because Mads Mikkelsen fights a polar bear. That's all I'm going to say. That is in that movie. We're reviewing it in the podcast extras.
That's really funny because he was in a film called Polo. And
I know.
There's no polar bears in there.
So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from, get us there. The Off-Screen Podcast Edition, which is about just like 20 minutes longer than the show we usually do.
Generally,
yeah. So, first review of the week then. Let's talk about Destination Wedding from director Victor Levin, whose work I'm not overly familiar with. And judging by the film, I'm not in a rush, to be honest.
Oh, you're not a fan?
I wasn't a fan. So let's start with the premise for this. This is right. He is Frank. She is Lindsay. They are two middle-aged misanthropes who meet at the airport, about to board a plane, which is where our clip's going to come in. They instantly don't like each other. They board the plane. They discover they are in fact going to the same wedding, the wedding of Frank's brother in California's wine country. I think it's Pablo Roble, I think it's called. California wine country, picturesque vineyard, rather like that movie Wine Country, which I believe comes to Netflix next week.
Really soon, yeah.
We're looking forward to that. They hate each other. They are basically the only single people there. They are forced to be sat next to each other at the table. Can you see where this is going, Case? I mean, obviously you can.
I can because I've seen it.
You've seen it, yeah. So that answers that question. In which case, do you know what? Here's a clip.
I'm going to that most presumptuous of all things, a destination wedding.
Please don't tell me it's Keith and Ann's.
How many weddings can there possibly be on any given day in Paso Robles?
I was praying for two.
And I was blaming Satan for my seat assignment when it actually just Keith's assistant.
How do you know the esteemed Keith?
I was engaged to him 6 years ago.
Oh my God, you're Lindsay.
Why? How do you know him?
You and I have the same mother.
Holy sh**, you're Frank? Oh, you're even worse than he said.
You too.
So there's an undeniably droll quality to this, I would say. And, right, for me, the whole thing, the casting is straight Viper Room, obviously. The style of it...
I don't know what that means.
Sorry?
I don't know what that means.
Really?
Yeah.
You
explain references.
You're a little bit younger than me, aren't you? You're like 5 years younger.
Yeah, despite looking like this.
Yeah. Well, the Viper Room is where all these this caliber of actors from the late 80s, early 90s used to matriculate. They all used to associate themselves with the Viper Room.
Is that Brat Pack or is that a different?
This is sort of after Brat Pack. This is River Phoenix, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Ethan Hawke, that sort of crowd.
Does James Spader factor in, or is that a little
No,
bit...
Spader was Brat Pack. Yeah, Spader was Brat Pack and then spun off into just being awesome on his own. And basically reinventing sex. That was James Spader. He and Zolman King, they basically did. He and Zolman King and Mickey Rourke, they went and did that with the 80s.
And then Mickey Rourke got a tiny dog and a lot of plastic surgery.
Exactly, much to my mother's chagrin. Anyway, my mother's endless dismay. The casting straight Viper Room, the style of it and the tone of it is quite Woody Allen, I would say. It's aiming for sort of Woody Allen territory. And it's working with a concept that's quite Richard Linklater. It's very before.
It feels like a before film, but like a more comedic before.
Exactly. Now, for me, though, it lives up to none of those three things. I say that having never personally been to the Viper Room.
Yeah.
And I think,
have you watched any of it before? So I don't know if
I watched the trilogy.
Have you watched them all?
Yeah, in fact, the only one that I've only seen once and don't really know brilliantly is Before Sunset, which is the second one.
Yeah.
But the first and last I know very well. The second one I think I've only seen once.
Yeah.
Now, for me, as you know, from films like Before, a lot of the charm from that comes with the naturalism of that dialogue to really drag you into that relationship and really get you invested. It's not helped here by Keanu Reeves really struggling with that. He really does. There's a very clunky dialogue in there that he can't quite make sound believable, and it does feel very, very forced. And on the other side of that is Winona Ryder being actually quite shrill. As unlikable as Keanu Reeves is meant to be, there is at least some semblance of charm there. Winona Ryder gets really shortchanged on that, I think. Coming and there's an extra level of hilarity to this for me if you consider that Keanu Reeves is now doing this thing where he just looks like John Wick all the time.
Yeah.
Regardless of the movie. He can be playing a kindergarten teacher. He's still turning up with the floppy hair and the John Wick beard.
But that is what people love now.
Yeah.
So why not?
But it's just, when she's being less than pleasant to him and they're bickering and they're rowing,
Yes, yeah.
you do find yourself looking at John Wick and thinking something about this just seems so wrong.
Yeah.
Because you do kind of wish he'd just take out the Glock and go to town on this for a very different movie.
Pull up the floorboards.
Yeah.
I didn't find it that risible.
There's some laughs. I laughed in the clip.
Yeah.
That was a good moment.
There were a few bits where I laughed as well. It was a while ago when I saw it. It's not really stuck with me.
Yeah, it's not memorable, is it?
No. I like that it is just Ben. I like that element of it.
It hinges entirely, though, on how much you personally sort of buy into the sort of BuzzFeed culture shipping of Keanu and Winona, like that kind of thing.
I didn't know BuzzFeed were obsessed with him.
No, it's a thing.
It's a thing. Well, is that because they're apparently still married?
Well, yeah, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? It's that, they were in Mermaids, they were in Dracula, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's that kind of,
it's nice to see them.
It is nice to see them. I wish it was a slightly better film. This plods along a little too lumberingly for my liking.
I think they've both progressed as actors since Dracula, so that's the highest compliment.
They've progressed from the level of Dracula. I don't think this film has in terms of real ability, though.
Right.
But I gave it a star rating. I gave it a 2-star rating.
What is your star rating out of?
Out of 4. I go out of 4. So I gave this a 2.
Why have you chosen 4, not 5?
When I made the switch to video with Me Movies, because obviously for Movie Marker we do 5, for Me Movies we do 4, because it's just punchier and it forces your hand a little more.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it forces you to commit, and I don't do half stars.
Yeah.
So
I think we should just have 1, just if you liked it or not.
Yeah.
1 star.
I think so.
Yeah. That's what
there
I
you
would
go.
do.
That does it for me.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, to where shall we venture next in our cinematic voyage for this week? What shall we cover?
I think we should cover Madeline?
We're having fun with this.
Yeah.
I think, because it's never brought up, it's never stated out loud in the film.
You sort of did that on purpose, so you didn't have to say it.
I think it's Madeline's Madeleine.
Madeline's Madeline.
I think the edible form is Madeleine, and she's Madeline.
Right.
I think that's how it works.
Okay, so...
It's not in French, if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, isn't it?
It is an American-made, but it's set in, New York.
Is it about any French characters?
No, it's just about a girl
We're
named
just
Madeline.
taking a French female name and a French little
and dessert and because they know you exist, they're coming for you.
God damn you, Julie Delpley.
This is Jafar Panahi all over again. Yeah. Right, so Madeline's Madeleine, which is really got an interesting but a bit all over the place kind of a coming of age, finding yourself kind of a drama, right? It stars Helena Howard, who is a newcomer. She's I don't think she's been in anything before. Literally come out of drama school, and the main sort of adult figure within the film is played by Molly Parker. What do you know Molly Parker from, by the way? Because I know her mainly for the Fern TV series.
I don't know, but I do know her, to be honest. I don't
if you see her, you will.
I might
from
recognize
something.
her. I'll try look.
I bet you it's West Wing. I bet you she's been in the West Wing.
Let's
I bet we look that up. Anyway.
And I'll be like, oh, it's... Yeah, right, okay.
Right, so this is about the theatre director, played by Molly Parker, and it's... she tries to make what?
What do I know her from?
She's not actually from the West Wing, is she?
I don't know if she... But I definitely know her from... I know her from something political.
We will find it.
She's House of Cards.
House of Cards, there we are. Of course it is. Yeah,
she is in Deadwood.
Deadwood, I did know Deadwood, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she is a theatre director. She runs a small boutique theatre in New York. She's trying to build a new project that she winds up mining out of her star pupil, who then winds up taking the performance herself too seriously, and it starts to spiral out of control for all involved and seeps very heavily into the relationship between Madeline and her mother, played by Miranda. I think it's Miranda July. We've got a clip.
Mom. Oh, God. I kissed that guy.
Gosh. Maybe we shouldn't have rushed into something where there was quite so much responsibility. He could have herpes. He probably does. He knows a lot about porn. And that's a sign. All just around your mouth, little pustules. Stop using that hand stuff. That just dries your skin out. That only makes
I have
allergies.
Worse.
No, you don't have allergies. You have hypochondria. Are you looking at Tinder? Is that what that is?
Have you been snooping on my phone?
I don't want to trust anybody, okay?
So the idea there is to push just how overbearing the mother figure can be, and how this starts to affect the daughter, who in turn is having, is performing within the play that is drawing heavily from her anyway, so it starts to overwhelm. Now, Helena Howard, I think, is just absolutely charismatic beyond belief in this. For a feature debut, this is
her first performance.
Genuinely astonishing. Really great. She's got such drive and such energy in her, and she really can just shoot an entire scene with just a look. She's genuinely brilliant. There is an almost Whiplash quality, almost a Flashdance-y element to it early on. I think we were joking earlier, calling it, what was it? Whip dance? Or
Whip dance. Whip flash dance.
Whiplash dance?
Whiplash
dance, yeah. That's sort of bubbling under the surface early on, and then it starts to take turns, and it starts to go into other areas. There's a certain element of Suspiria, there's a certain element of Black Swan in there. There's loads of things. I love how it's shot, and it's really engaging in the way that it combines newer digital filming techniques with more traditional, grainier, old school stuff, and it hops between the two. And it doesn't do it as a gimmick so much as it does use it to convey a particular moment. And it feels quite experimental, not gimmicky, but does feel experimental, and it does work tremendously well. It's heavily improvised. And as a result, that issue we had with Destination Wedding about the naturalism of it, not really an issue. I mean, this adds so much to the texture of it, and helps the atmosphere really take form. It sucks you right in. It's a bonkers film, bit all over the place, but
we like a bit of bonkers.
Yeah, but you care. That's the thing. You actually are interested. It does wobble here and there with some of those stranger places and stranger things it wants to go to and do. But for the most part, it largely works. It does largely work. Between the story of Madeline finding herself and the performance that Helena Howard brings to that, I thought it was great. It was a 3-star time for me. So 3 out of 4 for me. That's my thing. Should we just start doing the ratings?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, so 3 out of 4 from me. So over to some news. What do you got for me, sir?
I've got some sad news. I think everybody is already aware of this because it happened last week. Obviously, we weren't around. But Peter Mayhew passed away. So Peter Mayhew, obviously best known for playing Chewbacca in most of the Star Wars films.
I know.
Yeah, and he originated it.
He did retire from the role a little while ago, didn't he?
Yeah, so the last time he did it was actually not that long ago. He did it in Force Awakens.
Oh, it was him in Force Awakens. I know it's not him in...
Yeah, it's Jonas... I've forgotten his surname.
I saw him at the Star Wars event recently. He seemed very charming.
He's absolute delight. He's amazing.
And a large European man. Very large European man.
Very large European man.
Yeah, Scandinavian? Was it Scandinavian?
Yeah. I think he's from... I think he's from Sweden, actually.
You guys say he could be Norwegian, Swedish. He's of the...
that area.
He is of the tall, blonde, blue-eyed variety. There's a big man.
That is a whole lot of man.
There's a whole lot of man right there.
He took over... I being... What was the one in 2016? Was there one in 2016?
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
No, 2016 was Last Jedi, wasn't it? No? Oh, no, it's 15, 16. Rogue One was 16. Rogue One was 16. Last Jedi was 17.
So his first one must have been Last Jedi then?
Must have been then, yeah. And
then he's in Solo.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but obviously very, very sad news about Peter Mayhew, but loads of people have said tributes. Harrison Ford even did one.
Yes, really I know. Cool. Harrison Ford and Solo himself got in on that.
Yeah.
Good, it's nice to hear from him on that. It would feel wrong if he didn't.
Yeah, but it's really... It's sad, isn't it? Just the amount of people from those original films that we're now losing.
It's true. We lost Carrie Fisher. Yeah. Admiral Akbar now, but that's on screen.
And Anthony Daniels is still just hanging on.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with the world?
I know.
Yeah, so can't have nice things.
Shall we do? Over to you then for the top 5 for this week.
Yes, please.
Number 5,
Dumbo.
Which I liked. I didn't think it was a great movie, but I liked it. I thought I would watch it again.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie I will say, when that comes on home platforms, I will watch it again. Obviously, it has appeal to kids, because there is a generation of children who I don't think are that familiar with Dumbo.
I think the only thing that these live-action films these live-action versions have got to accomplish is, people that have seen the originals have got to be like, oh yeah, that's reminding me of how much I like the original, and I like this version, but ultimately it's just got to be really appealing to kids.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the kids are the bread and butter on this one, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got the ones that might not have seen the original Dumbo, or might not, this pains me to say, but might not have seen the original version of Aladdin.
Well, yes, exactly. Oh, God.
I didn't realise how soon that was to coming out.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I for some reason, I thought it was like June or something.
Yeah.
Was it originally June? Did it get bumped up?
I think you'll find we're only about a month off Toy Story 4. So...
And then Lion King.
And then a month after that is Lion King, so, yeah... We've got a big Disney movie pretty much every month. And don't forget that Universal squeezing Secret Life of Pets 2 in the middle of that as well. So.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, that'll make some money.
But you'll make some money, yeah, definitely.
So has anyone tweeted us about Dumbo? What have they thought about it?
At Bogarta says, took my 8-year-old to see the new Tim Burton version of Dumbo, and it was #spectacular.
Number 4,
Tolkien Begins.
Which I have not seen, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't see it because I didn't think it was going to make the box office top 5, because why would it? It's a story about J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien? J.R.R. Tolkien? Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien, whose story really does boil down to, I went to war and then did some LSD with C.S. Lewis, and then we wrote some books. And the solution to how to make a movie out of this is, he just kept having inspirations everywhere he went in his life that reminded him of stuff that would wind up in Lord of the Rings. Like he has 4 very short mates. And look, there's a round window over there. Things like that. It's that kind of a movie.
It's a weird, subset of, writer biopics, this, isn't it? It's like this, that Goodbye, or whatever.
Christopher Robin,
Finding Neverland.
And they always seem to tie into wartime stuff as well.
There's a Renée Zellweger one.
Miss Potter.
Yeah,
Miss Potter, same thing.
It's odd.
I mean, again, if the only way you can make the story interesting is to inject elements that will appear in their later work, then do you?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer a couple of times, and it's a lot of horses looking like Nazguls.
Yeah. What I mean? I'm sure it's perfectly fine and everything. I mean, I hear not, but from critic friends who did see
I'm
sure
it'll be okay. But
this is a slippery slope. What do we need? A Joss Whedon biopic about how he got inspiration from when his fence broke and he accidentally took off a wooden stake in his hand? Is that where we're headed with this?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the GIR Martin one. The Gurm one.
1 year, everyone in his family died one at a time. Then he thought there's a book in this. So,
and then for 10 years, he couldn't write a book.
Yeah. But has anyone tweeted us then about Tolkien?
Yeah, at Luke Wilson, not that one.
Not that one.
511 says, just watched #Tolkien and I loved it. Never seen Lord of the Rings.
Fair.
I love how they wove images from his work into his experiences. Yeah. Well, you've not seen it, so you don't know.
Well, no, I know, but it's still a weak crutch to have to fall back on.
I can't believe we were talking about this film so much, a film we've not seen.
I know.
Yeah, we should just give it benefit of the doubt. It really gives you a sense of how he was inspired.
Fair.
Number 3.
My Lavona.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
I did, but I also felt like I was like a dancing monkey.
Yes, well, I think it's because we kind of stopped. And yeah, never mind. Anyway, so Curse of La Llorona, very phoned in, very dialed down, watered down, half-baked spin-off idea to The Conjuring. If the previous movies have felt like Netflix companion pieces, this feels like they're made for the Sci-Fi Channel spin-off. Linda Cardellini, by default, is the best actress that any of these spin-offs have offered up yet.
She's having a real nice like,
She
career,
is. I haven't seen the Netflix show.
I have not watched it yet, but I will watch it. Sounds very good. Yeah, I like her as well.
She's great. I mean, by default, she is the best lead any of the Conjuring spin-off movies have had. This, however...
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I love me some Vera.
No, the spin-off movies. Vera's the queen.
Vera's the queen of these films.
Yeah, Vera's the queen, man. Yeah. But Cardellini, she's our regent.
All right, yeah.
She's a Viscount. That's what it is. Viscountess.
Patrick Wilson is Duke of Horror. Yeah.
But, Tony Amendola I can watch all day as well. I'm a big Stargate fan, so that makes sense. But the movie itself can't even manage basic atmosphere, and that was the only thing the Nun could manage. Neither could manage a scare. This is almost pathetic in how it tries to swing for a scare. Very weak, very limp. Badly shot, badly lit, and this apparently comes from the guy who's going to make Conjuring 3 next. So...
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Have they already started shooting that?
Yeah, apparently, I think, is that the courtroom one? No, Annabelle's the courtroom one, isn't it? I think the next Annabelle's the courtroom one.
Yeah, the Warrens turn up.
They do, as well. Yeah. So, has anyone tweeted us about the Curse of La Llorona? What do they think?
Yeah, at Hot July.
Fair.
Hashtag La Llorona sucked ass. I want my money back. And then there is, there's emojis galore. There's a crying laughing face emoji. There's a dollar. There's just money emoji. And then I think there is an official like La Llorona emoji, some like ghostly woman.
There is a hashtag, yeah.
Good for them.
Number 2.
Long Shots,
which you've seen.
Yeah,
you enjoyed.
I really enjoyed actually.
I enjoyed more in hindsight. That's kind of
it's kind of sat with
built more with me. Yeah, it's sat with me.
I feel like we'll watch it maybe in a year when it's on home release.
Yeah,
and I think you'll probably enjoy it even more. I feel like a lot of those Point Grey films, they tend to just get better on like repeat viewing.
Because that's Seth Rogen's label, isn't it?
It's him and
Evan Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg, yeah, that's it.
I do think Long Shot definitely feels more like a DVD watch than an actual go to the theater. And, I don't know.
I'm glad, but I did watch it in the cinema because I don't know what your experience was like with the audience you had, but it was a pretty packed room.
Yeah, I had a pretty full house.
There was loads of people watching Endgame, but like they still managed to get quite a few people in there, and everyone was loving it, and it was one of those where like everyone was walking in, everyone was talking, everyone was on phones, and then as soon as like the film started, everyone just kind of shut up and was paying attention. It was really, it was good to see stuff. It was a good atmosphere.
Excellent.
For it, and I liked it, and I liked seeing Charlize Theron in that. I don't think I've ever seen her in a film like that.
In R-rated comedy.
Yeah,
because I did think that, but A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, I kind of discounted that. I remembered her, but I thought she had way more to do in this.
She has done other things. I forget what they are off the top of my head, but she has turned up in like cable TV comedies and things.
Well, yeah, she's in like Arrested Development. I love her character in Arrested Development, and yeah.
So has anyone tweeted us about, I can't remember what movie we were talking about, Long Shot.
At Kelly Marcotta, she says, highly pleased with hashtag Long Shot. Can we get some more rom-coms? Seth Rogen, thanks.
Fair.
Number 1.
Avengers 3000.
Well, yes. I mean, what can you really say? I mean, the spoiler ban's dropped now, apparently, but the spoiler embargo, has dropped. You still can't go around being, nasty and spoiling it for people.
No, apparently someone outside of a local cinema did that and got punched in the face.
Yeah, wasn't that like China or Hong Kong or somewhere, Singapore or something like that?
No. Apparently that happened in Sheffield.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if that's just a rumour and I'm just fueling the rumour. But
do you know there's someone I really hope that was?
Not mentioning any names.
Yeah, not mentioning names, but someone I really hope that was. Yeah. Anyway, what can I say? For me, film of the year so far, it is this generation's Return of the King. It is Return of the King with jokes. It is...
it is.
It is. And do you know what? Now the spoiler embargo has dropped, I can say one thing about it that I've not been able to say so far.
What?
The entire second act of this movie is Trials and Tribulations. It is not Back to the Future 2. It is Trials and Tribulations. There we are. Okay.
Yeah. It goes out of its way to say, wait, it's not Back to the Future.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It really goes out of its way to do that.
But
there's been... I think now there's like as much love as there is online. I think there's just an equal amount of hate for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've experienced nothing but positivity with it, to be honest. But that might be
there's a lot of
social networking model there, the algorithm at work.
Possibly, yeah. There's a lot of different types of people on the internet, Van, and yeah.
Speaking of people on the internet, then you've got something from one of them. You've got a tweet about Avengers Endgame, and so what has the completely randomised participant said this time?
F Cruz 30 says, "I love you 3000." Hashtag Avengers Endgame.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, can I take you where hands touch?
I mean,
you'd rather I bought you dinner first.
I would rather you bought me dinner first. Yeah, absolutely. Treat me like a lady.
Yeah. Classy broad. Okay. So, where hands touch, which is the fourth film from Ama Asante. You know who brought us Belle? I think Belle is probably the most high-profile.
Did she do United Kingdom?
That was the follow-up then, yeah. So Belle, I think, is her second film after Way of Life, and then United Kingdom. Yeah. This is the fourth. So Where Hands Touch, which, to watch the film, sight unseen, you would think was adapted from a novel. It has that feel to it. So this ticks so many boxes. So, YA teen romance. You've got Amanda Stenberg and George Mackay.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that's what you get.
It's a good pairing. Yes, good pairing. Right. Then there's who they're playing. She is a young black German girl. He is a young Nazi officer.
Oh.
This is a period piece. I know. Ama Asante in period piece romance shock.
Yeah, shock.
I know.
Horror.
I know, right? So that really is the story. It's a rites of passage kind of story about a biracial teenager, black father, white German mother. Mother's played by Abby Cornish. I think we meet her dad, and the romance that forms between her and George Mackay's Nazi officer. His dad, by the way, Christopher Eccleston, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
Christopher Eccleston.
Wow, I can really see that.
You can't you? And he's brilliant in it. Anyway, and yeah, it's her story for survival. I mean, this it should be noted, this takes place right about the point that the mass roundups of Jewish citizens starts to unfold. And our clip sets up the general concept for you.
Why are we going to Berlin?
To be invisible.
It wasn't that I had not known I was different. It was that as I reached 16, I really began to feel it.
Were you spying on me?
I wanted to know if you were all right.
I have papers for you. You should carry them wherever you go. They will protect you.
They say there's no such thing as a Negro of the fatherland. I say I am German.
So, like I say, Amanda Stenberg's very good. She always is. I mean, even in the worst movie, what was that awful one that was like the rip-off of the X-Men? Like last year.
Oh, yeah.
Teenagers, you remember that one?
I remember that. And
awful movie.
She was good in that. Everything.
Everything. Well? Yeah, you went and reviewed that, didn't you?
I did. I got lost in London.
You got lost on the way to water with us finally. But you got there in the end and you reviewed the film. That's what matters.
I did, yeah.
George Mackay, engaging, likeable lead. Always is. This is nothing new for either of them, though, in terms of like their range, things we've seen them do. You know they've got this in them because they could phone this in. Very, very easy work for them. There's a very excellent nuanced turn from Christopher Eccleston as the father figure. I think there is depth to it and there is introspection in there. And it is the kind of performance you know you would get if you hire Christopher Eccleston, unless he's in one of those dodgy phone-it-in moods. But, you know, he's been on The Leftovers for a few years, so seems to have got his second wind going.
Yeah.
I will say as well, best performance I've ever seen out of Abby Cornish. Just FY. Turns out if you bleach the eyebrows, you get a good performance out of it.
Not a Geostorm?
No. I mean, obviously, it doesn't come close to the Golden Globe caliber performance of Geostorm, naturally. There's some great stuff in there. There's a really powerful moment of, a black teenage girl looking on in horror at a Hitler Youth Assembly that her own younger brother, her own younger, fully white brother is in. And it's just a really big, powerful moment. The only problem is the film itself is just a bit rote. It's a bit, by the numbers. Just from the concept, as I've explained this to you so far, you already have an idea in your head of this movie as to what the plot beats would be. You're probably very bang on as well. You're probably actually bang on the money with where this goes, beat for beat, what the nuances and the intrigue, the ins and outs of the story have to be. So there is that going for it. Having said that, though, despite being drippy as all hell, the performances are quite good. And, Amarasante admittedly has made the most televisual one of these she's made yet, but he's still got the heart of an Amarasante movie, and that's not nothing. So
yeah, you can't fully discount it, I guess.
No, 2 stars.
Yeah.
So,
nice. We're getting into this now.
You got a piece of film news for me? Where you go?
Of course I do. The Disney Fox merger thing.
Yes.
We're still just getting fallout from that. Yeah, wow. Yeah, let's just have some news just about that, because a lot happened in terms of that this week. So a lot of dates being shuffled around, a lot of things being planted.
Yes, you have to remind me, because I did see it, but I've forgotten what the films are specifically.
The ones that, right, okay, I'll give you the headlines. First of all, Gambit, gone. Complete. I mean, that's not even news, is
right,
it?
Who's going to sell Channing? He was the only one who cared.
I know. He's there just like standing in front of a mirror with some cards, throwing them.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So that's your first one. So that is officially off the slate.
Yep.
New Mutants has now actually got a release date.
Oh wow!
But it's next year, in April sometime. For now, until that gets bumped. One of the biggest pieces of news.
Yeah.
The Avatar sequels, Avatar 2.
Yes.
That was going to be Christmas 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one was going to be the following Christmas.
And then it wasn't like a 2-year gap, I think. And then
a 2-year gap, and then the two films, and following again.
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore.
Are they keeping the pattern, but they've moved it backwards? Is that what's happened?
They've moved it backwards and they've changed the pattern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The first one, the second one, sorry, that comes out December 2021.
Okay, right. I thought it was 2023 for some reason. But,
well,
sounds about as realistic.
We are getting to that. So 2021 for Avatar 2.
Yep.
And then we take a year off. And then we come back for Avatar 3 in 2023.
Yeah.
And then we take a year off. And then we come back. And then we take a year off. And then we come back. So we're doing like alternate.
Oh, so they're doing biannual.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That makes more sense to me.
However, that's if the first two do well.
I wonder if that's going to be structured around the idea of releasing a Star Wars in the intervening year.
It will be, because they've also planted dates for those now.
They have.
So the new Star Wars trilogy is going to be 2022, 2024, 2026.
It's almost like there's a master plan.
It's all very cleverly done. And they've also dated a bunch of Marvel films, and this morning have said that they're planning to cut the Fox slate of films in half.
Yes, I heard that's 5 to 6 films a year, I believe.
Something like that. So last year they released somewhere in the region like 12 or 13 films, which seems to be pretty average for like a major studio. Unless you're Warner Brothers. Do you know how many films Warner... I mean, you of all people should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year Warner Brothers released 22 films.
That does not terribly shock me, but when you put out things like Top Cat Begins and stuff like that,
exactly,
they're not all shining stars, are they?
No, it's just, we've got this. Let's take it out.
And let's not forget, I believe it was Warner Brothers who did distribute Geostorm. So...
Oh, so they won then.
Yeah, they won at life.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about another release then, really quickly. Let's talk about, I think it's High Life. Are we going to talk about High Life now? Yes, let's talk about High Life. Okay, High Life, which is... This one's a bit out there as well. So, new film from Claire Denis, starring Robert Pattinson and Juliette Binoche and Mia Goth. And basically, this takes place as a non-linear story. So it's a bit jumbled up chronologically all over the place. Follows Robert Pattinson's character. He is, I'm just going to say, he's a single father, alone on a spaceship that is headed towards a black hole. Okay. Raising his daughter with not nary a soul in sight, alone on this in this basically a floating warehouse, effectively. He seems to be some sort of a prisoner or an experiment or a subject of an experiment. There's mystery to it. I can't really tell you much more, to be honest. Here's Robert Pattinson explaining something of their purpose whilst flirting with Juliette Binoche.
We were scum. Trash. Refuse that didn't fit into the system. Until someone had the bright idea of recycling us to serve science.
The odds are not in our favor. But when my work is accomplished, when perfection is achieved...
Then what? Fly away?
I know I look like a witch.
You're foxy and you know it.
Right, this is a bit of a mess, to be really honest. There's stuff in there that's really astounding and the stuff that doesn't quite work. So, between the opening and the score, think silent running. So the opening visuals and the kind of score it goes for, very silent running. And that score is awesome. So epic, 70s style, sci-fi synth kind of stuff. Like, think 2001's, amped up with a theremin kind of thing. However, it's a very cheap movie. I mean, the first shot we get of Robert Pattinson, for instance, is him doing an EVA with a spacesuit. Very ropey CGI, and then he goes inside and you actually see the ship. And it really does look like they just filmed this in the work kitchen on an industrial estate. It really genuinely looks like that. They've just changed the colour of the light bulb. Very cheap. The cinematography gets moments where it manages to shine through that cheapness, but the overall style, that's a bit more all over the shop. I mean, the overall style, to be honest, winds up borrowing from grand 1970s sci-fi stuff. It borrows from 1970s Euro cinema. It borrows from 1970s European horror as well. So think like Argento and stuff like that. The 70s element, absolutely undeniable. But it doesn't want to stay there. It wants to go other places. At one point, it literally delves into Interstellar and Scanners simultaneously. It's a bit bonkers. Juliette Binoche is really going for it, and she fits that. Robert Pattinson, though, a bit of a blank canvas. Bit cardboard. Bit monotonous. That let it down for me. The ambition of the film, though, I couldn't help but sit there and marvel at. I don't think it's a terrifically great film, but I think it is an ambitious film. And if you want to see something that's unlike anything else that's currently in cinemas, then yeah, definitely see this. But do not think you're buying the large popcorn and Coke for this.
No, his career is just so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, this is another one of those kind of like Cosmopolis kind of things. Like, why? What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
Childhood of a leader.
Yeah, man. I didn't mind Cosmopolis that much. It's not my favourite at all. Yeah, but it's not too bad. But I just think that good for him for choosing these kind of roles. And
I suppose he can afford to, can't he now?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting that he has been chosen to be the lead in that Chris Nolan film.
Yes, and Christopher Nolan usually hires for damn good reason. I mean, none of us thought the Joker would work, so...
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I can see him as Bruce Wayne. I know there was rumours about him being in Matt Reeves as Batman. I can definitely see that.
Look, if it ain't a young Gabriel, like a 5 years younger Gabriel Marked, then I'm not interested.
No.
But also, he is aging now. Anyway, so that's High Life, Claire Denis' new movie, in cinemas now.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the Movie Marker radio show and podcast.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, only one place left to go this week, really.
And where is that exactly?
We're going to Rhyme City to team up with Detective Pikachu, as voiced by Ryan Reynolds in the feature live-action animation hybrid debut of the Pokemon universe. This has been...
I can't believe it's taken this long.
It has, yeah. So, directed by Rob Letterman, who directed the first Goosebumps movie, starring Ryan Reynolds, and Gulliver's Travels, yeah. Those are his only two live-action ones as well. They're all animated before that.
Animation world. There's lots of DreamWorks stuff, isn't
Something like that, yeah. So this stars Justice Smith as a young boy who's, I say young boy, he's in his early 20s, sort of a millennial type. One dreams of being a Pokemon trainer. His father, a detective, goes missing, and he sets out to find him. However, Pikachu wakes up, because this as well takes place in a world in which Pikachu and human beings exist side by side. Pikachu, Pokemon, and human beings exist side by side. Pikachu, the only Pokemon I could name before I saw this movie, voiced by Ryan Reynolds, wakes up with complete amnesia, wearing a Sherlock Holmes-style detective hat with Harry's name in it, the missing detective, and sets out to basically team up with Justice Smith and find the missing Harry, who can provide all the answers and give Pikachu his memory back. Here's a clip.
Okay.
Wow. I'd like to see this guy's internet search history.
Who are you?
Let's see where this goes. Tell him you're my new partner.
I'm his new partner.
Well, that Pikachu Thunderbolt almost wrecked my prized Charizard. Last time he was here.
Oh. Scar's still fresh.
All I hear are consonants and all I see are nipples.
And you know what? He ruined my coat, man. Look at this.
I'm so sorry.
Forget the coat. Where's his shirt?
I think I could name probably 5 Pokemon.
Yeah. I can name.
I was never big into it, but it was my era when it came around. I just always missed it. I was just never that big into it.
I think I must have been a year or two too old. It bypassed me entirely. Don't know anything about Pokemon. Could name Pikachu, maybe Squirtle. That's about it.
Charizard. Charmander.
I saw this with Calvin, who's obviously younger than both of us and a lot more of the sort of age bracket demographic for this. And he had the time of his life. He was literally falling out of his seat with laughter at every little thing in it. For me personally, I had a blast. I had a great time. I thought it was good, really good fun.
Yeah, it's getting very good reviews.
It has. Now, Ryan Reynolds is about as fun as you'd expect, but to be honest, Justice Smith, as unlikely as it sounds after Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, he's the MVP.
Yeah, I forgot that he was even in that.
I know, right?
Yeah, because I wanted to forget.
Isn't he in the Get Down, the Baz Luhrmann thing? Is he
he is. I think that's one of his big things. He's in Paper Towns as well.
Oh, of course he was. Well, he brings all the heart to this, and he winds up owning it. He really does. Like, Ryan Reynolds only gets to work as well as he does because he's got the emotional backboard to play off of. There's great support as well from Catherine Newton, who plays a sort of Lois Lane meta reporter type, who has Psyduck. She has a Pokemon who's Psyduck.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Lots of gags to get out of that. Chris Gere from You're the Worst, a bit daft but really enjoyable. Ken Watanabe, who's just a ledge, man. He just turns up as like the police captain.
Yeah,
like you want Ken Watanabe to be the police captain of a world run by, in which Pokemon exist. And Bill Nighy's there as a sort of James Harday from Ready Player One type figure. The reclusive visionary kind of type. It's like a combo of Roger Rabbit, Cool World, Zootopia, and the Happy Time Murders all smashed together, but better than at least half of them, and borrowing most heavily from Zootopia in the end, to be honest. There's a lot borrowed, I think, from Zootopia. The world itself, though, that they've actually constructed around it is stunning. So it's pretty much, it balances out to be quite Blade Runner-ish. It has that Blade Runner Tokyo-ish look, but the whole gimmick is it has to keep that consistent look while simultaneously incorporating this idea where every different block of this city is a different real-world capital city.
Oh, that's
so they'll literally walk through London, Paris, and Berlin in a scene. Huh. And it all still looks like it's within this same world.
That's very clever.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'll be honest with you, I started watching this thinking, can we have a Howard the Duck remake?
I mean, that's probably going to help that film's box office.
Oh God,
I would say, yeah.
Oh, once this gets to Japan and China, and they've dubbed out Ryan Reynolds with whoever they want. I'd imagine like China might go for Jackie Chan or someone like that. This will make all the money. This is printing money.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. It is a good time. It's accessible to fans, because Calvin proved that. He had the time of his life. And it's accessible to non-fans, because I don't have a clue.
And you enjoyed it.
And I really enjoed it.
That's what you want from these kind of films.
Yeah. End to end, 4-star, great time with it.
Do you think Sonic's going to be better?
I don't think I'm willing to hedge my bets on that one, Case, to be honest.
I don't think Paramount is.
I'll take a sucker's bet, but there's a limit.
Yeah. But, my favourite thing about the Sonic trailer is right at the start when it goes to show you the Paramount logo, the Sonic rings.
Oh, I quite liked that. Yeah, that was quite a good bit. But I'd be honest with you, I'm going to give Detective Pikachu Film of the Week. I thought it was just a genuinely great time.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm like you. I'm not really a fan.
I think you'll have fun. I do think you'll really enjoy it. And I think you'll enjoy it.
I enjoy Goosebumps as do. So if it's a similar kind of level,
cut above. I mean, I'm a big Goosebumps fan, but this is a cut above on every level for Goosebumps. It's maybe not quite as charmingly meta as Goosebumps is. This is more in-your-face meta.
Yeah.
And, Ryan Reynolds, you know what you're expecting with that. We've seen him do Deadpool. Same kind of thing here. But yeah, so next week, some interesting stuff. We've got a dog movie next week. You in the market for a new dog movie?
No, but I have already listened to Dennis Quaid talk about this movie. Listened to
Which one?
Are we talking? Are they different films?
No, there's different ones.
What?
So there's.
He was talking about A Dog's Journey.
No, Dog's Journey. That was the other week, and we didn't cover it. So.
Oh, then I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, that was last week, I think, when we were off. No, Pick of the Litter is next week.
And Dennis Quaid's not involved in that?
Dennis Quaid is not in this one. Dennis Quaid was in Dog's Journey, because that's the sequel to Dog's Purpose, isn't it?
Yeah. As if that got a sequel.
Oh, I know. But no Lasse Hallström for the sequel. But
yeah.
So next week we've also got Breakthrough, which is like Topher Grace, like an underwater survival thing. We've got Beat, which is a new movie from like Steven Soderbergh.
Breakthrough, Topher Grace.
Yes. Underwater survivalist kind of movie. You know
Christian
it.
film.
Christian film.
Chrissy Metz from This Is Us is in it.
Yes. Yes, she
Mike
is.
Colter's in it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, so we've got that to look forward to. Brilliant. Oh, okay. Beats, as I say, is next week. Tucked is next week. Birds of Passage is next week. And last but certainly by no means least is John Wick, Chapter 3 - Parabellum. / initial _ edit 1.5.
Yeah. That's one.
But you just know.
So we've got John Wick 3.
John Wick 3.
Not to be unfair to any other film, but we've got John Wick 3.
We've got John Wick 3. Do we need anything else?
No.
But
unless you've got John Wick 4 in your pocket.
Well, God willing. but yeah, I just want to see John Wick on a horse, man. That's kind of the fun of this one. I want to see him just capping dudes left and right whilst riding a horse
with a samurai sword and a gun.
Brilliant, I know. On motorbikes, no less. Yeah. Anyway, so we got all those to come and more next week off screen. In the meanwhile, this has been a Candy Store production for Movie Market. I've been Van Connor.
And I've been Case Allen.
And we shall return.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more movie news, reviews, and more, visit moviemarker.co.uk.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Podcast extras, then, man.
So, yeah, good. Podcast extras. So we need some film news to start us for the week, then, Mister.
This is an odd one. I didn't really see this coming. Well, actually, no, I did, but not in this way. So there's a cliffhanger reboot happening. Because, 90s action movies, of course. Of course it's happening.
Stallone's not involved, I heard.
No, as far as I can tell, there's not a man in the lead. It's going to be a female-centric reboot.
Well, why not? Well, why not then just call it Cliffhanger : subtitle and just release it as a semi-sequel or a sidequel?
That's a good point, yeah. Have it in the same world.
Cliffhanger could just be a series about mountain climbing survivalists.
It could be, yeah. I love Cliffhanger. I've not seen it for years.
You build it up, you build a few sequels, get a Generations movie going with a little crossover talent, like an All-Stars one.
Yeah. But it's going to be directed by Anna Lily Amirpour.
Yes, I did hear that. Why do I know Anna Lily Amirpour?
She did The Bad Batch, which is a Netflix film.
Yes, which I never got around to watching. That starred Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey, didn't it?
Yeah, and Jason Momoa.
Yes.
As well.
What was the biggie that Amirpour directed?
Well, that's the most recent one I can think of.
There was something further back, but I forget offhand. But yeah, I'm intrigued by that. Like a cliffhanger sequel. I mean, what was the one that got a sequel recently? Oh, it was Backdraft, wasn't it? Backdraft got its sequel recently, the same. But that actually is a direct sequel.
Yeah. But I feel like this is going to be slightly more high profile. I hope, anyway.
Well, which reminds me, actually, now that we're in podcast extras, just allow me to rummage through my pockets here for you and pull over with hand money. I don't usually carry money. I have finally found my long-fabled missing pair of jeans, Mr. Allen.
Oh, no way.
And so, now, once I get this pin back in, it is my great pleasure to finally bestow this gift upon you of these Being Frank, the Chris Seavey story pin badges of Frank side-bottom artwork. There you go.
Wow.
And for your collection.
I don't know... For my collection, I don't know what to say. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Well, it's fine. You don't have to get me anything. It's fine.
Thank you, man. Wow, yeah, but yeah, I will add these to my collection. I've got loads of pin badges.
I know. That's why I just think to collect them for you.
Yeah,
now,
thank
all the
you very
screenings
much.
and things.
Yeah.
Can I talk quickly then about Arctic, which is out this week?
Yes.
So Arctic is you'll have seen this advertised, the new movie starring Mads Mikkelsen, and it's basically man alone in the Arctic. You know. Yeah. Journey from point A to civilization, that kind of a narrative. So this comes from director Joe Pena, a Brazilian musician and YouTube personality who set himself up as a vlogger in 2006 under the channel Mystery Guitar Man, and has now decided to make his first film, which sounds ludicrous. But you know what's more ludicrous? What? It's actually really well made. Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
I know. So, Mads Mikkelsen is a man who, we literally open the movie with him in this crash, in media res. He's sort of surviving, eking out a living, going and searching every day and trying to find, different signs of civilization, trying to map the route to get himself back. But basically, this is more or less a silent film. It is this journey. He encounters a helicopter crash along the way, thinking it might be his own rescue, and picks up an injured companion who he must also transport to civilization. And he's literally Mads Mikkelsen in the snow for 98 minutes just trying to stay alive. At one point, he fights a polar bear.
Sounds great.
Yeah, now, it's not a great movie. I thought it was pretty good, actually, but it's not a great movie. It's not, like, academically wonderful. It's we've not got a clip because it is largely silent, but it's a silent film in that way that All Is Lost is a silent film.
Yeah.
If you remember that one. So it is kind of a somber, unspoken piece, more like All Is Lost. It's not one of those outwardly philosophical ones like The Grey, but it is quite powerful. You do feel it for Mads.
And everyone loves Mads.
Everyone loves Mads.
I don't know anyone doesn't like Mads.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he's on fine form. He's awesome. He can totally do this because, he's Mads. Mads is from Danish cinema, so you know for a fact that he's killed an animal at some point as part of a role. You know that's happened because he's Mads. And then literally they put him up against a polar bear. What do you think's going to happen? Great crisp visuals, gorgeous to look at, just incredibly, just breathtaking cinematography from, and I've been looking forward to saying this name out loud, Thomas Orn Thomassen.
Oh, you've been practicing that.
I've been practicing. That's the third time I've said it out loud. Gorgeous, beautiful to look at. And Joe Pena has actually managed to concoct something really quite interesting here. I think there is something going for this. Don't think it's got mainstream appeal at all because it's, like I say, largely dialogue.
Might be difficult to find as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit Castaway, a bit Martian-y at times, when he gets into the sort of minutiae of little things that he's doing, like food rations, stuff like that. I had a good time with it. I say, I don't think it's got, popcorn and nachos appeal.
Yeah, but maybe it doesn't need that. It's not that kind of film.
It doesn't necessarily need that. I can see this, though, being something that will be very big on streaming. This will gain its audience on streaming. And a bit of trivia for you as well, by the way. I think his name is Overman. I think his name is Overman. He's H. Overman. According to the production notes on this, H is a reference to Hannibal.
Oh, cool.
Which they've done twice, because at one point they present you with his ID card and it's got a photo on it of a young Mads Mikkelsen, which is also the exact picture of young Mads Mikkelsen they used for Hannibal Lecter. So there's references in there.
Very meta.
Yeah, I liked it. I did like it. I'd say just breathtaking to sit through. Maybe it's because I've sat through a lot of Attenborough recently as well, because of that, was it the Our Planet thing?
Yeah, the one on Netflix, I've still not watched it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do not watch that while baked. Just trust me on that.
Yeah. I can imagine it'd be pretty devastating.
Yeah, it takes you through the ringer. I watched this penguin versus a seal, and it was it got tense there. I'm not going to lie, it was really tense.
Who were you rooting for?
I was rooting for the penguin. Yeah, but that penguin came close though.
I've got some film news about Endgame.
Endgame? I like Endgame. We got?
Yeah, we all like Endgame.
I like a bit of Endgame.
Yeah. So it may have hinted at future characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're outside the spoiler embargo, so please...
So, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to spoil the hell out of it. So in past films, characters that we now know have been hinted at. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there's a bit in Civil War where Stephen Strange is just offhandedly mentioned.
It was Winter Soldier.
That's the one.
When he's predicting the future stuff, the future threats.
Yeah,
Stephen Strange has
got an eye on. Yeah, he says Stephen Strange. And there's a couple of different things like that have happened in the films. But in Endgame, there is a bit where Okoye says that they've been monitoring an underwater...
Oh, yeah, an earthquake under the ocean.
Earthquake, yeah. And they're just like, that's what it is. It's an earthquake. Or is it?
But there is, because there's that great line when she says, what's our risk, how are we handling this? It says, well, it's an earthquake under the ocean. We handle it by not handling it.
Yeah.
But I liked that moment. I thought it was a nice moment.
But there's no way that, that's just put in just for the hell of it. It's not just a throwaway line. It is, people speculating it is about Namor.
And obviously, the trailer for Far From Home is into that the Snap has opened the multiverse as well. So I think we're getting a lot of weird stuff coming up that we didn't expect.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah, it works for me as well. Scott Derrickson already hinted at Namor as well.
Yeah, for Doctor Strange. So I don't know. I feel like it's either going to be in Black Panther 2 or in Doctor Strange 2, but Namor comes in.
Black Panther 2 wouldn't surprise me, actually, because they're the same kind of caliber characters.
Yeah,
as well.
they're both like royalty.
They're both like legacy characters, but didn't really have a foothold in mainstream culture, I would say.
Exactly. So it could be in one or the other, or both, I think. Yeah. That's cool. But that's not all.
Go on, what else you got for me?
There was another bit in Endgame that hints at another character.
Who?
I don't know if you picked up on
Is it Howard the Duck? Because I heard he's in there. I've not seen him.
Oh, no, he is.
I've not seen it. I've not seen the physical image of him. But...
Go see it again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I need a cue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably do it later on. When everyone comes back, he's there somewhere.
Oh, I saw. Yeah. I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. The other character. Well, I'll set it up here. When Cap and Tony go to 1970s New Jersey.
Yes.
And go to the SHIELD base.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit where Cap is looking at Peggy Carter through a window, and she's having a conversation with another agent.
Yes.
And she mentions the surname Braddock.
Oh.
Does that ring any bells?
Yes, I know. You'll have to remind me on this one. Yeah. I know that Braddock is a Marvel.
So, Braddock is the surname of Brian Braddock, who is Captain Britain.
Oh, of course, yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, which have been hinted at for a while.
And it would make sense that Peggy Carter would
absolutely,
be involved there, although in the 70s, that's interesting. Unless it's a legacy.
I would love that.
What if it's like a legacy, like the Phantom, where it passes down?
Yeah.
From there's mentors and proteges.
And we had Ant-Man in the 60s, but obviously the Ant-Man we know is Scott Lang.
If it's a mentor protege thing again, that rules Taron Egerton out straight off the bat, doesn't it?
I know.
Because I'm not sitting through that again.
Yeah, he would just be Kingsman, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's just Kingsman with superheroes.
It's a shame because I think that he would be good, but...
Give Jamie Bell his proper Marvel shot, I say.
Jamie Bell would be awesome.
How awesome would that be?
Yeah.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
And do you know who I want to be like the original Captain Britain?
Yeah.
Statham.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That'd be amazing.
I'd go for like Jeremy Irons or someone really humorless and then give them a really funny part.
Well, so we're going to go for an actual like older...
I would actually do a mentor-mentee thing with that.
Maybe get Bill Nighy. Yeah.
Bill Nighy'd be good.
Yeah. You can't get Ray Fiennes because he's in the new Kingsman prequel.
Oh yeah, there's that. But how good would Bill Nighy be in a
Bill Nighy would be amazing.
I mean, we've had to...
Bill Nighy in an MCU film. Just...
Bill Nighy in a Pokemon film. I mean...
yeah. What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
And I actually have more Endgame news if you want it.
Oh, please, let's finish it off.
It's not so much news, it's just like, that's what happened. That explains it. Do you know what it is?
I was just going to say, have you seen the post from James Cameron?
No, I've just clicked on it. I've not read it yet, so we could probably read it.
James Cameron has written a very gracious message to the team behind Avengers Endgame.
Oh, do you want to find it?
I will find it. It was on my phone a moment ago, and I misplaced it.
The thing I was referring to, do you know the actress Catherine Langford?
Yes, from 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, she's in Love, Simon and a bunch of other things as well.
Yeah, I'd heard.
She's pretty popular.
I'd heard she was going to be in... this was months ago.
Yeah.
That she had been cast in a role for Endgame.
Yeah.
But of course, you and I have seen the film.
But she was never...
Langford no there.
Langford no there.
No Langford, man.
No.
Your phone who this?
Well, they filmed it. They filmed the part that she was meant to be doing. Do you know what it was?
Yeah, I heard this, that she was going to be a sort of teenage incarnation, a manifestation of the teenage Morgan H. Stark.
Yes.
Tony's daughter, who he would have talked to briefly after the fourth snap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say after the fourth snap.
Yeah.
And he would be in the Soul Stone place, like Thanos was at the end of Endgame.
When
it would have paralleled the scene with the father-daughter in the Soul place.
Yeah, and she basically would have been like, it's okay. I forgive you. You do this. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they found it a bit too clunky, and the scene that he has with Pepper straight afterwards kind of does that anyway.
It kind of signs it off, doesn't it? She does. There was a very beautiful moment where she does say something to him. Let me just pull up the end game. The end game. Let me just pull up the image of this James Cameron post. So it is the big Avengers logo having knocked over the Titanic, which I think is quite clever. So literally,
really cool.
The Titanic has been capsized by the Avengers.
I love that every time something like this happens, there's always like an image that goes with it.
I like that as well, because this happened This happened with Star Wars or something a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Yeah, they handed a lightsaber.
Yes. So this was to Kevin and everyone at Marvel. Kevin and everybody at Marvel. An iceberg sank the real Titanic. It took the Avengers to sink my Titanic. Everyone here at Lightstorm Entertainment salutes your amazing achievement. You've shown that the movie industry is not only alive and well, it's bigger than ever. Jim Cameron. I mean, that's classy. I like that.
That is classy.
I mean, he's
done it now, hoping that it doesn't get to the next one.
Let's just be honest, though. The only reason he's, swinging that big throbbing dick is because he also owns the number 1 spot on that chart.
Yeah.
So he still owns number 1 and number 3.
Yeah. It'll be interesting what happens this weekend, because the percentage droppage that people have predicted is not that high.
No, it's not. I would imagine.
I think Pokemon will do well, but I don't think it's going to take that big of a ding out of it.
I think we've had the surge and the first revisits now.
Yeah.
I think we've had those. I think we will now get the resurgent fan wave. I think will go back in now.
Yeah, people want to watch it again, and
I think now that a couple of weeks have passed.
Yeah,
that there will be there. There have been people who saw it. I think there'll be
people that have just been just casual and just waiting for everything to die down, but will go back in now.
Very true. I mean, when I went to see it that second time, it was 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and it was full. It was an absolutely full house, and there was a screening on every 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, when I went to cinema to watch Longshot a few days ago, you could not move.
Oh, no, you can't.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, luckily, not many of us people were going to my screen. Yep. It was a decent-sized screen for Longshot.
And the irony there is, of course, I turned down Longshot to see Endgame.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But, I love it 3000.
Yeah.
So, well, that wraps it up for me this week, then.
Yeah, same.
In which case, well, here it is, your moment of Cage.
They say evil prevails when good men fail to act. What they ought to say is, evil prevails.